What's going on? Welcome to the Pro Wrestling Shoot. Guys, we're doing a Roseland 2 show. Welcome my guests, William and Bryan.
Yeah, hello. I'm William from Prestige Wrestling, as some of you may know, and then Bryan. We've never met yet. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, Bryan Williams. I've been on my boy Jesse show a couple times. I don't know what to say about me. I'm a video game designer and pro wrestling enthusiast, and we'll be attending this show on the 20th, and I cannot wait.
Right.
I think I am getting some feedback right here. Are you guys getting feedback?
I don't hear any, but I don't have headphones.
Is that better? Was my hoodie messing things up?
Your hoodie.
I'm not sure. I have bad feedback on mine. I am like echoing in my ears. No, it's probably not your hoodie.
Right. His hoodie.
Hang on a second.
Is it my beard?
Gotta say that is a magnificent beard you got there, William.
I know, man. I don't like having the beard, but my fiance likes the beard. So, like, I don't know. I'm going to shave it this week, I think, since we're looking next week.
Is it better, Jesse? Or
it's not. It's really bad. It's really bad.
Anybody that's watching, is there feedback on your end?
Let me see here. Hold on real quick.
Anybody that's watching, is there feedback on your end? No, there's no feedback on the video on my phone.
There, is that better? Hold on real quick.
I'm sure that it would probably face value 200.
Huh.
No.
That's weird. Maybe it's just
Frodo
me.
says there's no feedback on his end either. So.
All right.
Oh, yeah. No, but yeah,
While he gets that worked out, anybody in the chat that if you're going to Prestige, if you're going to Roseland, introduce yourself. If you're a Prestige fan, introduce yourself.
I am muted on my end now.
Football is happening. These people are like right here, like right on the floor.
My fiance is watching. He texted me that there's no feedback.
No feedback.
So.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm hearing both you guys. Good, yeah.
That wasn't a good place to see stuff. Because you had all these people all over there. Yeah. I like to sit a little bit up.
Let me see if I can switch my audio settings. Sorry about that, everybody.
Noah Pickens just commented that he's going to Roseland too. That's dope. Noah, what if you can hear me, what seats did you get? Are you on the floor, the balcony, standing room? What do you got going on? Frodo's going on the 20th too. Nice. Frodo, I think both of them live in Tri-Cities, actually. Maybe Noah doesn't, actually. I know Frodo lives in Tri-Cities. I don't know where Noah lives. So they're going far. But, Bryan, you're coming from Los Angeles. And then
yes, sir.
We got people, like, I got the manifest for our ticket sales recently. And we got people flying in, like, Massachusetts. And we got people coming from Florida and Dallas and, like, Mississippi. And it's absurd.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah,
hey.
I fixed it. I'm a dumbass. I had like fucking 2 links up.
He's a dumbass. It's all good.
So Brandon Martin, hey, Jesse, William, Bryan, how are you guys doing tonight? We
doing good, brother. Doing very good.
Sorry about the technical difficulties, guys.
Yeah, we're going through technical difficulties, but I got off work and came straight here. Pride Style Pro says audio seems good, so I think we're good to go, man.
Yeah, we're good. It's it was me. I had the link up for the YouTube too from when I was putting in comments earlier, and it basically it was playing the stream back to me in my headphones. So I was like, "What is that coming from?" Like I've never had this problem. Anyway, yeah. So who else we got in here? We got Noah. Got stage seats.
Stage
Those are
seats.
good.
I think I got my tickets are in the balcony area. If I can
Dude,
remember.
the balcony and stage are like the best seats. The floor, obviously, like first row is pretty dope, but like I'm an old man, so I want to be around as few as people as possible. So like the stage, you only got one row behind you, and then the balcony, you know, you're not crammed. You're in a balcony. It's a little more free flowing, but I think there's not going to be a bad seat in the venue. Right now, we're sitting at just under 900 tickets sold, so it's going to be packed. Like that's why we're doing the COVID precautions. We're doing the masks. I think we'll have hand sanitizer and stuff out. We're gonna, you know, make sure to remind people to wear masks throughout the night and just kind of be as safe as we can while also having fun. You know, I don't want anyone to be scared or worried. You know, so but
yeah, let's keep it safe at this event so that way we can roll smoothly into Roseland 3.
Exactly.
Right. Dude, and Roseland 3, like I know there's only the 4 announcements so far, but it is absurd. Like today at work I got some confirms from people that I was blown away that we're going to be able to have, and like there's going to be some first time matchups. There's going to be the girls coming from Japan. There's going to be just absurd stuff. I think there's like 15 new debuts at the show, and then all the people that you know and love from our shows. It's if you like wrestling, Roseland 3 is gonna, I think it'll top even Roseland 2, which is tough, but Roseland 3 will be good.
It seems impossible at this point. It seems impossible for anybody to top this card. Roseland 2 is probably one of the most stacked independent shows that I've ever seen. And I'm really stoked about this, man. But I trust your word, William. I trust your word. Roseland 3 is going to be exciting, and I'm kind of mad at you for always trying to top yourself at this point, you know, because I'm gonna spend too much money. You're gonna have my wife really pissed off at me,
dude. And there's so much sick merch, and then like. Yeah, it's spinning on all cylinders. It was.
Let's take a look at that. Since you just said that, some sick merch. Let's take a look at some of the pictures that we got right here.
Yeah, those beanies came out so sick in person.
Yeah, I'm definitely copying one of those.
that gold logo though.
So, do either of you know what the bottom left and top right shirts are? They're rips of.
I don't.
Yeah.
So
No.
Is the one Prestige Worldwide?
No. So the bottom left and top right.
Oh, bottom left and top right. Yes. That's that's like a kiss.
Yeah.
But ECW also in the 90s did their version of a kiss rip. Oh, there's a kid in here. Hold on. Yes. Go play, please.
Oh.
Go play, please. Thank you. Love you. Anyways, I told you our kids would bust in. Yeah. So there's tons of sick merch. It's my living room right now. It has probably, I think there's 32 boxes piled on top of each other out there, and we're just going through it, trying to figure out how we're gonna get it ready for the shows. The LA shows, I'm gonna have to bring like three carry-on bags or 3 check bags with me that we're gonna just stuff with shirts and hope we can sell all of them. It's gonna be fun, man.
Yeah, I don't think you'll have any problems getting rid of that merch.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, we've been selling quite a bit online. It's exciting. Like I said this in our podcast, but every expectation we have has been like shattered, and that's awesome. Like I always expect less than what we're gonna do, so that doesn't set me up for failure, I guess. But it's just, I don't know. It's been wild, man. I can't even put it into words.
So I'm really stoked about this event. Like it all just kind of fell into place. We were talking about sponsoring you guys a long time ago before Roseland 2 was fully announced or anything like that. You gave us the opportunity to do it at this event. And I was worried because I was like, oh, it's February. It's at the end of February. And around here, we usually get snowed out. That looks like it's not going to be the case coming into next weekend. The weather looks beautiful.
Yeah.
So
it's looking good. I always worry too, man. Like we on the subject of weather, and I always go on little like side talks, but I like, everyone to know the whole story of everything. We had a show, the show where MV Young was under the ring.
Yeah.
So Tom Waller showed up that night just before his match because the weather was so bad, and he was calling me and he was like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it, dude. And so MV's under the ring, and MV's like, what do we do if Tom doesn't show up? And like, I'm texting him and I'm like, Tom says he's going to be here right before his match. So yeah, when they met in the ring that night, when he showed up and jumped Tom, they had not seen each other at all the day before, that day of. And then so when they came back through the curtain, MV goes up to Tom. He's like, hey, good to see you. And they gave each other a hug after he beat him down. So Tom, I'm relying on like Tom and MV to know what they're going to do when they haven't even seen each other that day. And I'm texting MV like, this is what Tom wants to do. Don't forget. Meanwhile, he's under a ring, so it's like he's just uncomfortable and feeling miserable as is. And yeah, so the weather was bad that day, and we were so worried he wasn't going to make it. But the weather next week seems to be good. I hope. Or
it's
2 weeks from now,
it's good. So James, my partner on the podcast, I've been prepping him for 2 months. Like, you better dress warm because he's from Cali. He's wearing the shorts and stuff all the time. I'm like, nah, you better bring some pants over here, dude. It's going to be cold. Probably going to be full of snow. And then it all fell into place, too. Bryan ended up wanting to come, and I'm super stoked about this. So all my friends are going to be there. Frodo's in the chat. I have some other friends coming up with Frodo. Hey, speaking of which, look at this. This is James right here, guy. Bro.
Yeah. If anyone in the chat has any questions or input or anything they want to talk about too, feel free to drop it.
Absolutely. But before we do that, guys, if you don't have tickets, you can also stream Roseland 2 on IWTV. And if you need tickets, go to prestigewrestling.net, man. There's still standing room tickets, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I would hate for anybody in the area to miss out on this event. I'm desperately hoping that it's going to sell out. just so we can say like to say that to say that we sold out the Roseland, but B, like, it's just such a big accomplishment in business because like if you look at the shows that they have at the Roseland, they're a pretty big mid-sized venue. Like, they have a lot of big acts coming through. And I was like doing the math on our ticket prices, and I think our show is going to be their highest grossing show of the year. Because they have, like, if they have, I don't know who would play there. Let's say Buck Cherry, like, some random old butt rock band or something. Their highest ticket is going to cost $40. So if they sell out, 1,000 tickets, they're at most making $40,000 that night. Whereas like our highest ticket is $100, and like that, all of that money is pretty much reinvested into the show. If you look at this show, the card is a pricey card, but it's going to be worth it. But on a personal like bragging note, it would be nice to be like, yeah, we were the highest grossing show at the Roseland this year. Hell yeah, man! Can't complain about that.
What would a sellout be? Because right now, we got to. You said it's over 900. So is it like 1,000? Would be a sellout?
A sellout would be 1,001 people.
Okay.
So we might cut some of those for production purposes, like day of. If it is sold out in advance, we won't cut it. Like we'll pack everyone. We'll move stuff around and make it work. But if it's a little less than sellout, we'll make the ramp a little bigger and get a little more room for wrestlers. But we're going hard. It's looking like more people are coming in the chat. So cool. But yeah, sorry, we're going hard. Something that's funny too is I like looking at all entertainment in the area to just kind of get a gauge of like how we're doing versus other, because you really are in competition with everything. Like you are trying to be the biggest in town at that time. So the night before at the Moda Center now, I almost call it the Rose Garden, Ice Cube and I think G-Eazy are playing. And as of now, we've sold more tickets than Ice Cube and G-Eazy at the Moda Center.
That's an accomplishment right there, man.
So
yeah, it is.
And Ice Cube, is nowhere near as big as he was years ago. So it's not like we're, beating Justin Bieber or something like that. But it's still like, as of now, we're selling more tickets than Ice Cube, and that's nice to know.
So Lance New Wolf says, I hope we get Filthy Tom for Roseland 3.
I don't know yet. So Tom, as you've seen, has recently signed a deal with New Japan. Like, he's all over New Japan, which has made his dates more sparse. He was on just about every Prestige show in the past, as most people know, and he and it's not a bad thing by any means. Him and I are still good friends. We're just figuring out where he's gonna come in and not. You know, it's at a stage now where Tom is going to be used in a different way, and we'll announce everything and the ramifications of that at Roseland too, because he is still our champ, and I can't give you more info than that yet. But
there you have it.
At Roseland 2, there'll be some more info announced as far as Tom Waller in Prestige Wrestling and the championship in Prestige Wrestling.
Good friends, everything pro wrestling. What's going on, Conrad?
Conrad, what's up, brother? Man.
And then we got Blazer Moto. Can't wait for Allie Katch. She's a rising superstar.
Yeah, Allie rules. I've been trying to bring her in for years now, and it finally worked. We had dates, I think, confirmed with her before the pandemic, and then when everything, hit, we just had to regroup and start over. I think that match is going to be really good. I know you're a big MV Young fan, Jesse. And
that's my boy, man.
Like Roseland too, he's more or less been there since day one because we were talking before even the first show. So
yes, it'll be nice. He's practically an original.
Yeah, he's never wrestled for us in Portland, and he's never wrestled for us in front of 900 or more people. So it's like Sweet. It's a whole different beast.
Blazer Moto also says hoping for some awesome surprise tag teams for Roseland. Well, we got 2 tag teams confirmed on the bill.
Yes,
and I might as well show that right now. There you go.
I will say that as you know, C4 has since day one been one of our most popular teams.
And Bryan's a fan now. We did a watch along on our audio podcast with Bryan, and he got to see a C4 match. Actually, it was one that you recommended, William.
Was it versus the Strays?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yeah, and that one was sick. That one was like one of the kind of their coming out party as far as like we are a team that can go. And they've been here since day one. In the form of they had Clark Connors. Clark left to New Japan. And then Cody Chun kind of brought Guillermo in. They had a match, and then he asked him to join C4 and, start up C4 2.0. We don't call him C4 2.0 because it'd be C4 420. So, and I managed a dispensary, so I'm not against weed, but I don't know if their gimmick really lends itself to C420 too much.
Yeah. And we also have the Midnight Heat showing up too.
Yep, formerly 4 Minutes of Heat. They've been a major thorn in my side for some time. Ask anyone around, and they're probably the biggest pieces of trash in the Pacific Northwest. They hold the Defy Tag Team Championships right now. They hold the United Wrestling Tag Team Championships. And I'm sure they want – I don't know if you guys saw, there was a Photoshop picture where they photoshopped the Prestige titles on them to make it look like they won the Prestige belts. So they think they're winning them. We'll see if they can make it out. I will confirm, this is a bit of a spoiler, but not really. There is more than one unannounced team showing up at Roseland.
There you go, man.
One more team. I can't tell you exactly how many because Danhausen's our general manager and he's an insane man. But I do know there is more than one extra team showing up.
Anonymous guest GM Danhausen. I love that.
GM Danhausen, yes. For Portland, Oregon, Las Vegas, Nevada. Actually, the Las Vegas show is that one still going on? Or that's the one that got canceled?
That one got canceled. So there was problems with like flights. There was problems with signed talent having to pull off the show because they're signed elsewhere. There were problems with our video team falling through, and there were problems with like personal like business stuff that we had to handle. So the show just felt completely snake bit. And it was just kind of at the point where it's like, we can't give Las Vegas the show they would deserve. So we said, hey, let's cancel. There's over a month. We can come back and give them a good show. I see that question too. Yeah. Will we ever come to Corvallis or further down? Yes, there is. And a bit of a spoiler. There's something planned as of right now that's not announced yet for the Corvallis area, and that'll hopefully be announced soon. I'm waiting on graphics and stuff on that one.
Dude, how many shows do you have announced at this time?
Too many.
There's a lot.
Dude, and then on top of that, like I'm negotiating plans for like our LA follow-up, our Sacramento follow-up, our Vegas return, all types of stuff. It's a stark contrast to during the pandemic, we were doing nothing. So I was getting bored all the time. And so I was able to like just completely wash my mind of, I didn't have to think about Prestige for nearly 2 years pretty much. And now it's like from the second I wake up until the second I go to bed, I'm doing work.
I can't imagine, dude. That's crazy. Well, let's show off these tag team titles real quick, man. We will see a new champion, correct? At Roseland 2.
Yeah, brand new World Tag Team Champions are going to be crowned. First time ever. Those belts were made by Wildcat Belts. And yeah, I'm excited, man. I think we will be putting a lot of effort into building a solid tag division. So it's going to be good. There'll be great teams coming through, and then just great stories to be told with the tag belts.
The beautiful belts. I like the design of those a lot.
Yeah, right. Me too. Chat, what do you guys think about those belts, man? Those are sick, right?
Yeah. Comment and let us know your thoughts on the belts.
Everything pro wrestling. Those belts are dope.
Yes, sir. Yes, they are.
Any plans in the future to sell? Hey, William has taken enough of my money. We don't need to be selling replica belts for Prestige Wrestling.
I did message somebody that does like foam belts. I was trying to get some foam belts made and they didn't reply. So if I can ever call it on making some foam like fake belts that I could sell for like 10 or 15 bucks, like those will be made. Replica belts will come down the road. I don't know if I'm ready to commit to, a $500 merch item.
Yeah.
If I order some replica belts and they don't sell, I'm just out. Like,
More importantly, I don't think that I am ready to commit to a $500 merch item.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we're growing, but that's down the road a little more. Maybe if I can get them all signed by like Malachi Black and our biggest stars, maybe I'll do something like that. But Malachi, he costs a little bit of money to make that happen. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Bryan, are you excited about coming to the Pacific Northwest? Have you ever been to Portland, Oregon before?
Yes, I'm very excited. I've been to Portland once when I was young. When I left, when my mom got remarried, we drove from LA to Alaska. And so, went up the Pacific Northwest. I think we might have been in Portland for maybe a day. Slept in a hotel, and I was young, so I don't really remember a lot about it.
Okay.
Other than the fact that, but I love the Pacific Northwest though.
Right.
I love that part of the country, and for me again, just someone who just has been a long time since I've seen, independent wrestling with the COVID and all that. But I mean, I'm accustomed to it. Like I was a frequent customer of PWG. I've probably been to from like 2008 to maybe like 2013. I was like at every show. So I love independent wrestling. I've seen a lot of what Prestige has to offer on YouTube. I've seen some matches and you, Jesse, when you told me about this card last year, and Jesse was the one who was kind of urging me to come out for this show, and I was like, you know what? It's been a long time since I've had any sort of vacation, so I'm going to treat myself.
Right.
I'm going to treat myself to some quality pro wrestling. Get to see my boy Jesse. Get to get out of LA, which I haven't been since COVID and all that. So I'm super excited for the show.
Yeah, I was just in LA for the Battle of Los Angeles from PWG, and it was
okay.
Dude, the main event of the second night was Daniel Garcia versus Speedball Mike Bailey, and it was nuts. It was one of the best professional wrestling matches I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I'm really glad that Speedball that he's able to work in the States again, you know, because he had that visa issue
Right.
for years now. Because I remember seeing him years ago, and I remember the first time I saw him. This guy comes out. He's not wearing any shoes. Never seen him before, and I'm like, who the hell is this guy? And that happened to me a lot years ago when I go to independent shows. I'm like,
were you going to like the PWG days when like I think it was Speedball versus Andrew Everett and he hit it was the poison run on the apron. Like
Yep.
I remember watching that Blu-ray, and this was before like everyone was doing reverse Ranas and like that. I don't know if that's not the same show where that's not the same show where the main event was the triple shooting star from. Do you know what match I'm talking about?
I've seen a lot of
crazy shit.
A lot of crazy shit in Reseda.
Oh, I got a kid in here. Go out, Junior.
Hey.
Okay, go.
He says, I'm coming to Prestige too, man. Brandon Martin, shout out to the Rant and Rave podcast as well. They are also one of the sponsors for Roseland too. They will be there selling merch as well and supporting independent wrestling, as everything pro wrestling says. Support indie wrestling.
Indie wrestling.
Absolutely,
if
man.
anyone has any questions or input or just want to know anything about Prestige, just drop a comment real quick too. I'm here for a bit. I can talk. I got nothing going on. Just got off work, slaving away. Come here to slave away and talk. No, Taya versus DREXL. That match is going to be sick. I talked about that on the podcast too. That was one where we like had another idea in mind, and then Taya and DREXL just started shit talking each other online, and I was like, all right, well, if Taya wants to wrestle a match against DREXL in DREXL style, let's make it happen. And she agreed, and so we made it unsanctioned with no rules, and we'll just see what happens. Like, I'm gonna let them do whatever they want. If they want to kill each other, they can kill each other.
That's gonna be good, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing DREXL live, and Nick Wayne. I've heard nothing but great things about Nick Wayne.
Nick is awesome. Nick has never wrestled for us yet. Nick, he refereed King Katch versus Sonico, and he also refereed Sonico versus JAIDEN one time in Hermiston years and years ago. So now, and that's when he was probably 13 years old. So now I believe he is the ripe old age of 16, and he'll be making his debut in front of our biggest crowd ever. And if there's anybody that can take him to the limit, it's Ethan HD. Ethan's been in the Pacific Northwest for years now. He's a veteran of the Northwest, and he's one of the best wrestlers in the world, in my opinion. It's going to be good.
Let's take it back to this match, man.
Yeah.
I want to talk more about this match. For some reason, I just feel like, DREXL never disappoints, but this one really surprised me when you guys announced this. Is this her first booking since being a free agent, or?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay. This will be the first time I've seen her. But,
yeah, I think she's going to do some AAA stuff. And then I think she's doing stuff in Mexico, and she has some other bookings, but this will probably be her first, besides if she's doing AAA. I don't know if she is doing AAA, actually. This might be her first. It might actually be. I'll have to ask her.
Well, I'll tell you, just with the words unsanctioned, anything goes. Yeah. I guarantee this is probably going to be a bloodbath, and I can't wait to see it, man. Brandon says the most important match I'm mostly looking forward to, 11 years in the making since 2011 in Germany, Malachi Black versus Davey Richards. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wrestled in Germany in 2011, and Davey, when I confirmed Malachi, I messaged Davey and I said, "Hey, do you think you guys will have a good match?" Davey's one of the best in the world, and Malachi is one of the best in the world. So it's like, on paper they'll have a good match, but sometimes there's people that don't mesh. And when I messaged Davey, he said, "Yeah, actually, in Germany we had a match of the year in 2011, and like nobody saw it, but like in Germany it won match of the year for that promotion." So they've only gotten better, like, in 11 years. And it's wild to think that out of those two, I think Davey's the veteran. I think he's been doing it a little longer than Malachi. If not, like they're at the same. But yeah, it's gonna be nuts.
So Blazer asked again, any chance we can get a prestige wrestling show in Redmond or Bend, Oregon in the future?
Yeah, I would want to go there. I think I got to find a venue that is the appropriate cost and the appropriate size to do something like that. We are kind of focusing on major markets now because we are doing like these super cards where you kind of need a major market, but we are still going to like Corvallis and Hermiston. So there is a chance for it. I just gotta plan, man. It's tough planning this much stuff.
I gotta say, man, just selfishly, I'm excited for you to come back home to Hermiston and Richland. I'm really excited about those shows. Smaller venues, it's not going to be a Roseland type crowd, but it means a lot to us over here. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, those will be fun. It's been, I think, 4 years, maybe 3 years, probably 3 years, considering we've been going for 5 in April. So, it's been like 3 years since we've been there, and that's. I mean, those were good shows back in the day. I think they'll be just as good now. I don't see why they wouldn't be. Kid Bandit for any more shows? Yes. I'm talking to Kid Bandit quite a bit. It's just kind of planning what is going to line up for him and line up for us. He's very sought after. If you don't know who he is, check him out. He's only been wrestling like 7 months, and he's already on like AEW Dark, and he's working for us. He's working everywhere.
That's wild.
Oh, wow.
Right. There's some people that are just like prodigies and just instantly have it. It's like when Clark Connors got signed to New Japan. He had only been doing it for like a year, maybe a year, 2 years, maybe. And it's like, oh, he's in the New Japan dojo, and now he's graduated from the New Japan dojo.
He's a natural, man. Bryan,
yo,
what do you think about this match?
Alex Shelley versus Dalton Castle. Two of my favorites. I'm a big fan of Alex Shelley, also Dalton Castle. I mean, and that's the thing. Like you look at the lineup for this show, and there are a lot of cats on here who I'm familiar with, who I've seen a lot of. And then there's so many other talents on the show that I'll be seeing for the first time. So for me, like, I mean, I know this. I have a good feeling like this show is going to be amazing. This match in particular, Alex Shelley versus Dalton Castle, I'm sure will kill it. But as you know, the thing that I'm most looking forward to are seeing the guys that I will be seeing for the first time. And that's usually my thing every time I go to any independent show or just wrestling in general. Like I like seeing new talent being exposed to guys and the guys and gals who are going to be new to me. Because there's so much talent out here. There's just so much. And I do what I can to stay abreast of it,
and it's great for independent wrestling right now too.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like how many free agents we have.
As far as free agents and stuff goes, I was telling you guys before we came on the air, there's going to be surprises at Roseland too. And there's, like I said, lots of free agents. So let your brain spin and think of who can show up. But there's a big emphasis on that S. There's not just one surprise on Roseland 2. There's a lot going into the show, and there's a lot of stakes that are going to be raised coming out of the show based on the stories that are going to be told.
I can't wait, man. And one match.
You're getting a sellout, William. You're getting a sellout. Mark my word.
Obviously, a match that I'm really looking forward to. BUSSY versus PaXXX Americana, dude. You've never seen MV Young, correct, Bryan?
I have not.
Okay, he's amazing. Dark Sheik, same thing. EFFY. I mean, we're all aware of what EFFY's been doing on the scene lately.
Seen EFFY, yeah.
Yeah, this match is going to be interesting, man. I don't think that I've gotten to see MV in a tag match yet. Every time I've seen him live personally, it's been a singles match or a triple threat, I do believe. We got a triple threat at Prestige at one time.
Yeah, I think for us, he's only done singles, actually.
Okay, yeah.
He's worked, Bull James, Tom Lawler, and Julian White. Yeah, that's who else.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
so this will be his first tag match, first time for PaXXX Americana. Actually, as an official team, him and Dark Sheik have been, friends for years. So there'll be a lot of chemistry there. And then EFFY and Allie Katch obviously have been teaming for, I think, a couple of years now. I expect it to be. I don't know what I expect it to be. Actually, I think it's one of the most wild card matches on the show, in that they all are such diverse performers that it can go any direction. I know MV has a habit of trying to powerbomb people off of things onto things as of late. Specifically, it's been a lot of women. He's been doing a lot of man versus women matches. So, maybe Allie Katch is going to get powerbombed off of something high. I know he tweeted he wants the powerbomb her off the balcony, but the balcony is like 20 feet high.
Oh my God.
So I hope he doesn't do that. But it's definitely a wild card match, and it should be good.
That brings us to this one, Warhouse versus Funnybone. Yeah. Another interesting match. Have you ever seen any of these performers live, Bryan?
I've never seen them live. I've seen a lot of Warhorse before. This will be my first time seeing Funnybone. However, though, I gotta say, I love. I'm digging the look. You know what I mean? Like this. Wow, yeah, this looks like it's going to be a pretty chaotic matchup between these two. Looking forward to it.
Funnybone is intense, man. Like this is one of those matches where both of them are just such intense competitors that I don't see it going long, in the sense that I think they're both it's gonna be smash mouth start to finish, in and out, beating the absolute shit out of each other, and whoever gets the win gets the win.
A brutal sprint.
Right, a brutal sprint. That's the perfect way, man. Both of them are nonstop, just smash mouth wrestling, and that's good. It's just they're not going to do anything too flashy. I don't think. I think they're just going to, lack of a better word, fuck each other up.
Yeah, no, Funnybone is. I can second that. He's very intense in person. He's got a different look about him, and his in-ring style is phenomenal, man. He's a real joy to watch. I can't wait to see this match.
He's very much an underrated gem. MV Young, Renegade by Styx. Hopefully we played at Roseland too, but keeping my fingers crossed. Yeah, so MV Young, I always pick his themes for him when he wrestles for me, because him and I are close enough that if I hate his theme, I can tell him it's stupid, and I'll go a different direction with it. So I don't think, I don't know. We haven't talked what his theme is going to be yet, actually, at Roseland, but him and I talk almost every day, so hopefully we'll figure it out. If not, he doesn't get a theme. That's on him.
Says his interest music is so perfect for him. Who are we talking about? MV, or are we still talking about Funnybone? Funnybone's
entrance is dope. He comes out to Rob Zombie House of 1,000 Corpses. And it's his entrance is very good. One of the best entrances in professional wrestling right now. And I can't imagine how sick it's going to be with 900 people.
Everything pro wrestling. Capitalize brutal.
I cannot wait for this.
Yeah, there's a lot to look forward to when it comes to this event. Not only is it going to be a fun trip, dude, but I can't imagine anybody not thinking they're getting their money's worth with this card. Especially, with you saying that there's going to be surprises throughout the night. I don't even think this card needs it. This card speaks for itself, but being as badass as Prestige is, they always give us a little something extra, and I'm excited for this, man. It says, will Tankman come out to his indie song for Roseland 2?
I don't know what his indie song is, but he is a scary guy, and he's not someone I'm close with, so he's not someone I'm going to argue with him about what his theme should be, because he's someone
Tankman?
Yeah, Calvin Tankman.
The times that I've seen him, he comes out to Tupac's Hail Mary.
Oh, that's sick. Yeah. I hope that's probably what he's coming out to. He's that picture right there of him. Like I told this to I think it was on this podcast, but it might have been on other podcasts. But I had never seen his work. All I saw was that picture right there of him, and I DM'd him and told him I want to book him. And then like I found his work, and I was like, oh, he's sick. Because it's rare that somebody just on their picture alone looks like they could just beat the shit out of you if they wanted to. And he is a terrifying man, in my opinion.
Yeah, and a couple good performers in this that I've gotten to see personally is JAIDEN and Sonico, a couple of Prestige originals. Absolutely phenomenal from the Pacific Northwest. And then you also have Titus Alexander. This is going to be interesting too, man. I don't even know what match I think is going to steal this card, but I'm still going. I think DREXL's going to surprise us. He's always a joy to watch, so I don't know, man. I'd keep your eyes out for that one. But this main event, dude, is it's hard to pass by.
Yeah, I think every match has the potential to steal the show, but I think when you look at these two guys, and I think when you look at how split the crowd could be, since Davey's from the Pacific Northwest, I think it's just gonna be one of those fun matches where both guys will feed off the crowd, and whoever gets the win gets the win. But it's gonna I expect it to go long, and I expect it to be brutal. They're both well versed in martial arts like kicks, and have a background in just striking. They've practiced striking for years. I know Davey is I think a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Malakai, I don't know what his belt would be, but I know he does kickboxing and other martial arts. So yeah, I expect them to kill each other. I think they're going to kick each other's heads off.
Yeah, it's going to be good. BH, William, did you know that Aubrey was going to AEW right after your last Corvallis show?
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember when I found out. I think she did Roseland 1 after Corvallis, maybe. So I think I did know there, because I remember talking to her about it, and I think it was in Corvallis, and just asking, like, how'd that come about, just chatting with her. But yeah, she's a great ref. We only worked with her, I think, 3, maybe 4 times, but she was great every time.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, once again, guys, if you don't have tickets, you can get this live stream on IWTV. Just use promo code PRESTIGE.
Yep.
Check it out. All the info is also in the description of this video as well. Info to get tickets, their merchandise, everything you need to know is in the description. Check it out. And then we also got James says, will Danhausen curse someone?
Danhausen, I expect to be a maniac at that show, since he is the GM and he's not wrestling. I don't like him, and I haven't talked about what he's doing. So we'll see what happens going into it. He comes into town a couple days before for other reasons, so I'm hoping we'll figure it out. And if we don't, I'll just let him do what he wants. I mean, it's clear that people love what he does. So he's one of those guys that I trust to go out there with a microphone and make magic.
Absolutely. Bryan, what are you most looking forward to on this card, man?
Man, that's a good question, man. I mean, obviously, like the main event. I mean, that's when I saw you had announced Malakai Black. I mean, right then I was excited, because I'm a big fan of Malakai. Saw him several times at PWG, teaming with Chris Hero when he was Tommy and see. That was my first experience seeing him, actually.
Wow.
Years ago, and because Chris is an acquaintance, he's a friend. He told me that he had kind of helped train him a little bit. So see, I remember the first time I saw him, I was like, wow. I mean, first of all, he just looks like somebody that would just spit out of like a creator wrestler from like one of the games I used to design. And when the first time I saw him work, because like he wrestles the style of wrestling, pro wrestling, that I really love. And you had mentioned it, William, like the striking. I love guys that just, whether they're kicks, forearms, I just really love that snug, stiff style where it's like, hit hard in safe places. Those are like the matches that I really love the most. And Davey Richards, Davey is just a freaking legend, man. I mean, I'm so happy that he's come back to pro wrestling. So you know, I would have to say that main event is the one that I'm looking forward to the most, but I am also expecting that probably walking out of the event, it's going to be one of these other matches of guys, you know, or gals who I'm seeing for the first time that's really going to possibly stand out even more so than the fantastic main event. So I'm just going to take it all in and just consume all this prestige wrestling.
Right. I
take
think,
all back to LA with me and go to the LA show.
I think since it's a card that's so stacked, you're going to come out of it. And this is how I try to book shows. And it's just something that I remember learning early on, that it's not necessarily about matches, it's about moments. And there's so many good matches on this that what's really going to stand out to you is going to be the moments in the good matches. And that's not to say that everything's not going to be a good match, but I think everyone is going to be looking for their moment. And it's like, when you think about the Hardy Boys, you don't think about a match per se. You think about Jeff jumping off the top of the ladder, and you think about Shane McMahon jumping off the top of the Titantron at SummerSlam, like that kind of stuff. And I think top to bottom, every match has the potential for a moment. And then if you add in the surprises that we have, and you add in the announcements that we have coming up, there's going to be a lot of moments made off of one show alone.
Damn!
Wow!
Just got goosebumps.
The perfect moment to summarize it too. Do you guys remember? I think it's either Vince versus Hogan or Vince versus Flair, and Vince is peeking up over the apron, and he's got a lead pipe, and he's got blood dripping down his face.
Yeah, I was there live. That was WrestleMania 19.
It's Hogan. Yeah. And that moment, if there's any moment, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it right now. That image is what I mean by like moments. And the way I'm booking the show and the show's plan is going to be moments top to bottom.
Oh,
I can't wait, man.
Everything pro wrestling, but you're making me want to buy another one.
Right.
Just have 2 seats. You already bought a seat, but I'm going to make you sit at our merch table.
I'll buy another ticket and give it to somebody else. It's like, hey, you got to come. Maybe somebody at the hotel. It's like, what are you doing right now? Let's go watch some wrestling. Let's go.
Everything Pro Wrestling said this match will be hard hitting. He's talking about Malachi Black and Davey Richards.
Absolutely.
Frodo says, since it's your first prestige show, Bryan, we might have to carry you out after it's all done.
and on top of that too, though, I don't mean to discredit what we've done in the past, but like after this show, you will 100% realize it's a completely different ball game as far as prestige goes. What we have done in the past will just, it's nothing compared to what the future holds. And I mean that with no hyperbole, and it's good. It's going to be good, man. I promise.
James says, who's the ring announcer and commentary team?
So I do a lot of the ring announcing from behind the curtain, and it's because I don't trust anyone. And it's just like, if somebody's going to mess it up, it might as well be me. But there's a problem in indie wrestling, and I'm not burying anyone specifically, but I absolutely hate when the ring announcer comes out and is reading off his phone. And that's a thing that people do. They read notes off their phone instead of even having note cards. So my thought process on it is like, I'm not going to pay somebody to do that. Like, if I can run a show, book a show, and memorize every match top to bottom as well as the wrestlers going out and announce it, I'm just going to do that myself. The commentator team is going to be Brian Zane from Wrestling with Regret, and Joe Dombrowski. Oh, my kid's trying to barge in again. And Joe Dombrowski, who has done commentary for all of our shows. He just got hired by MLW. He has done Ring of Honor in the past. He's the best independent wrestling commentator in the game, in my opinion.
Absolutely. BH says, you've already changed the game, William.
Thank you for that. Yeah, it's good for us fans. Yeah, I mean, I have a problem that like I try to go too hard for the fans. Like, I'll call my business partners, and they're like, "But the budget." And the joke amongst me and other people are like, "What fucking budget? What do you mean the budget?" You know. So yeah, and maybe I'll learn down the road, but like, when you're in any form of entertainment, you want to give more than their money's worth always. And it's a problem, but it works out.
James says Danhausen for announcer.
Danhausen, oh my god. maybe he'll do something. Did you ever see when Chris Jericho was ring announcing in '98 and it was a cruiserweight invitational and he was like introducing like 20 different cruiserweights and he'd be like this jabroni coming to the ring and he was messing up everyone's name. He would call like it was great.
I remember seeing that. I remember that. Yeah.
Him as like 45 pounds from whatever. And yeah, so whenever I think of like a guest ring announcer being a wrestler, I remember that moment. Jericho was the best on the mic. 100% Jericho's best run, in my opinion, was heel WCW towards the end of his WCW when he just gave no shits and he was doing the list of 1,004 holds. And have you guys seen that?
Of course. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yes.
Yes. Yeah. The man.
It's classic.
Yeah, and you're right there. I think the fact that he knew his time at WCW was short lived, so he was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna have fun."
Right.
For the remaining time that I have with this company, I'm just gonna go out there I'll entertain myself. And just,
absolute money, and that's where the best ideas come from, man. Like even on my end, I just book what I would want to see, and I know that like I'm pretty close to the common wrestling fan, so if I would like it, I hope most people would like it as well, you know. And I've never stopped being a fan, you know. I still watch not much WWE, but I still keep up with independence and other stuff. Kids are trying to barge in again.
Yeah, no, they're getting ready for Prestige, man.
It's true. You know, having your finger on the pulse and just booking for you, with your gut, like what would I want to see? I think that is important because you're a fan and listening to your gut. I mean, that's what I do with my profession. As a game designer, it's like, well, I think this will be entertaining. I think this is something that the fans will think is cool too. And more times than not, yeah, it all coincides. So
you just take what you like and try not to make it too specific. So
right.
And that's perfect. The kids are one of the unannounced tag teams. Yeah, we had one of our kids in amateur wrestling, and I keep trying like to get him to want me to buy like a 14 by 14 foot ring for my garage, and he doesn't want it. So that's on him. As soon as he says he wants a little ring in our garage, we'll put a ring in my garage, and I'll let him start messing around, and I'll pay wrestlers to come out and train him.
Damn, that's the hookup right there.
No, hell yeah.
Lance says, "What's your thoughts on Jarvis Cottonbelly?"
He has been a polarizing guy as of late. I've gotten along with Jarvis. If you don't know, like you can look into it. I'm not going to get into it, but for people that do know, I'll just give my thoughts on it. I think he suffers from a lot of mental health problems, and it's costing his career. If you want to look into it, like I said, look into it. He's always been nice to me, but I'm not going to book him. I'm not going to work with him because as of late, he has said some things that I don't agree with, and I don't think a lot of people should agree with.
Rumor has it Bryan does a nice moonsault.
Yeah, years ago.
You still got that video, Bryan?
Yeah, I do.
The good old mocap days.
Yeah. Did you do a moonsault?
Yeah, back when I was designing the WWE franchise, I would basically when we did motion capture, we had our ring set up and we had all the talents there. And there was just one day because I don't know, we were capturing a lot of stuff off the top rope, and these guys just making it look so easy. And I'm like, I'm pretty athletic. I think I can do that. And I remember Dr. Tom was there from WWE. He was like chaperoning.
Yeah.
And he saw me attempting some moonsaults during lunch. And I kept landing on my head. And he came over and he was like, you gotta, your body will follow your head. So you got to whip that head all the way back. So he was kind of giving me tips and everything. And at the end of that shoot, one of the guys that I was working with, one of the wrestlers, my friend David Young, he used to be in TNA. He basically told me, hey, do a moonsault on me. I was like, no, bro, I'm not. I am not. He was like, no, I'll be fine. You're not going to kill me. And I did. And, looked pretty good. But again, this was years ago.
Which game did you work on?
So I worked on my first game was SmackDown versus Raw 2006.
So sick. That is so dope because I loved that game.
Yeah, my last game was WWE 2K19.
Okay.
Had nothing to do with 20. Me or my company had nothing to do with that. And now I'm developing the AEW video game.
Nice. That's sick. I mean, that's big stuff. I'm definitely jealous of you on that end. As somebody who legitimately loved every like wrestling game as a kid, and like I probably fell out. Did 2006 have GM mode or no?
2006 was the first year of GM mode.
And then it lasted for like a couple years, right?
Yeah, we had it up until 2000, SmackDown vs. Raw 2008. That was the last year of GM mode.
Is 2006 the year that they generally credit as being one of the better SmackDown vs. Raws? I think I remember liking that one.
Yeah, 06, and I hear a lot of people liked 07.
I think I liked 07 too a lot. I think after that is where it wasn't as good. Not to discredit your work. Like, we can all agree something is better or worse.
No, trust me. There's no one more critical of these games, and especially my work, than myself.
Right.
I've done podcasts with Conrad, Everything Pro Wrestling, and I apologize profusely about SmackDown vs. Raw 2008. That was a dumpster fire of a game.
Hey,
not all because of me, but
but that's how we met, was SmackDown vs. Raw 2008. I won that tournament, got to go to WrestleMania 24, met you. The rest is history, man.
That's cool. Yeah, I love the only games, like as a kid, of course, a lot of kids, I loved wrestling games and Tony Hawk games, and like those were my life. I would just play wrestling and Tony Hawk all day.
Same. I got into skateboarding because of Tony Hawk Pro Skate.
Yep. 100%. I bought Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and started skating. Yeah, as a little chubby kid, couldn't do any tricks, but I still cried. And I love to this day. I love skateboarding. Like, I still watch skate videos. I know about skateboarding. I Enjoy Skateboards came out with a bunch of WWE decks recently, like Macho Man, Hogan, stuff like that. I bought every single one of them. Dropped way too much money on skateboard decks that I'm never going to use, and hopefully will just be worth money one day. But I won't ever sell either because, like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm collecting it, so in case I need to sell it, but really I'm just filling a room.
So we got the chat going crazy on video game talk right now. Everything Pro Wrestling says LOL at WWE 2K20. And then he also said SmackDown vs. Raw 08 was trash.
Yeah, I know. See, I beat you to it, Conrad. I know.
James, I'll get back to your question in just a second. Noah Pickens says 2007 SmackDown vs. Raw was the first game I played, spent hours as a kid playing it. And Everything Pro Wrestling said Tony Hawk game was the ish.
It was so good.
Ish.
I'm not good at video games, but Tony Hawk Underground probably is the.
I love that game.
But I think I could probably beat anybody at Tony Hawk. When they came out with the 1 and 2 reissues recently, and I hadn't played games in years, I instantly was like in the top 150 on the leaderboards in the whole world. And I was like, all right, I'm still good at Tony Hawk. Dope.
So James says sources say Bryan is working on a prestige wrestling game per Dave Meltzer.
What? Uncle Dave dropping the scoops.
Yeah, the scoops. We got enough. Yeah, we got enough money to make video games now.
James also asked, is there any other promotions you want to collab with, William?
Yeah, so we got the stuff with West Coast Pro that we're doing. I talked to their owner and booker, Scott, like every single day. So we're always doing, ideas with them and coming up with more stuff. GCW, there's still plans to do stuff together. Them and us are both getting exponentially busier. So it's like, who knows if and when it's going to happen. But I think for the most part, those are the two. That's not to say that I'm not open to it and that I don't like other promotions. It just has to be the right, mesh at the right time. Everything
Pro Wrestling says, does Prestige have any involvement with the wrestling code?
I don't know what that means.
It's one of the new video games coming out. It's called the Wrestling Code.
Yeah, it's based on independent wrestling.
So I don't mean this to sound rude, but anything I do, I want it to be very, very good. And independent games cannot sometimes not be as good as I would like them to be, especially because I'm not like a hardcore gamer. So like it needs to be perfect for me, you know, like I will nitpick the shit out of a game because I don't play games that much. Like I want it to be the best game ever. So I've had other companies who come to me and be like, hey, do you want to get involved with this game? And it's like, if you're not putting out the like one of the best games you can, or you're not offering money to make it worth it, or it's not like something I'm emotionally really into. If none of those 3 boxes are checked, there's no reason for me to do it, you know? And that's not saying money's everything, but it's like, if it's going to come out and I'm not going to want to play it, I don't want to be involved with it. I want it to be good.
It's official, man. William is a carny.
My dad was. My dad, I grew up in the carnival with my dad, actually.
Oh, shit.
Chris the Psycho says, No Mercy was the best game ever.
Very good. It is
yes.
a very good game. Revenge
64.
Monday Nitro is trash. Monday Nitro.
What was that?
Did either of you play Monday Night Nitro?
Yeah, it was garbage.
I did not play that one.
You played No Mercy though, right?
Yeah. I'm looking at it right now. I've got my N64 still hooked up.
I have a sealed box copy actually, which it's not the one that's worth a lot of money. There's another one that has a different code on it, like a shipment code. That's worth a shit ton. But I did find out having a sealed box copy, they're becoming more and more rare now. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
Conrad said, chill. Nitro was the highlight of my birthday party in the 5th grade. Sorry, Conrad. Sorry.
Yeah, but in the 5th grade, though, you don't know what's good, what's bad. You're just happy to be playing a video game.
In the 5th grade, yeah, when you're that young, Nitro was sick because it did have those the character selection screen where they would cut a promo on you, which like before the internet, consuming any wrestling anywhere was dope. So it's like that was one of the coolest things about like the SmackDown games back in the day, that they would have the intro that you could watch. And I think even down the road you could unlock like videos, and like in Tony Hawk too, yeah, you can unlock videos, and that shit was dope.
James says, are there any celebrities attending Prestige besides Bryan and the talent? Bryan,
I am not a celebrity at all. No, I'm not.
Top notch, man. VIP treatment.
Here's an exclusive only because I don't think it's going to happen now. I was very much trying to do DREXL versus Steve-O. I know Steve-O's agent. I know Jackass's people. And I knew how to get a hold of him. And then all of them showed up in WWE. And I 100% believe, based on the timeline of when I was hitting them up, that we might have sparked the idea for them to reach out to WWE. Because and that may sound insane. You may think like, oh no, WWE doesn't pay attention to that. WWE 100% watches indies, and they like people in WWE at least, and then people that reach out and the people I talk to, they 100% know how to get a hold of WWE. So Johnny Knoxville showing up in the Royal Rumble cued very much in the timeline of a few months back when I was talking to Steve-O. So I don't think it's going to happen now, but I wanted to do Steve-O versus DREXL at Roseland.
Man, DREXL would have hit him with the skewers and the staple guns and all sorts of fun stuff.
On another scoop, did you see when Tom Green was tweeting at us?
Yeah.
So yeah, I just on a whim said, hey, you want to come wrestle for Prestige? Tom Green, you know, the actor, skateboarder, Freddie Got Fingered, like all those movies. And he said, sorry, I don't wrestle. And then I said, you don't wrestle yet. Email me. And then he didn't reply. So it was like 1 a.m. and I saw he was still online. So I like tweeted at him again, and I emailed him and he didn't reply. And I DM'd him and he didn't reply. And I messaged him on Instagram. And on Instagram, he got back to me. And Instagram, he was like, listen, man, like, and I was like, dude, I will pay whatever your rate is. I'll pay it up front. I'll fly you out. I'll book you to do a comedy show before as well, so you can make more money on that. And you won't even have to bump. I was like, we will book it so you don't have to do anything, and you'll be in and out. And he replied again, and he didn't want to do it. But God, I was trying so hard.
Oh man,
The thing fell through. I was trying so hard to do Tom Green versus DREXL. and it didn't work out. But on that subject, I have high hopes that something will happen at some point involving celebrities.
There you go, man.
I mean, just I commend you just for trying. You know what I mean? Again, it goes back to you being a fan and like giving people something unique and special that they can see. So,
and Steve-O's like the perfect catalyst to do like a tame death match. It wouldn't be like the most insane, but like if you know DREXL and you know Steve-O and you know deathmatch, you're like, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Man, I couldn't imagine Tom Green coming in and doing something. I'm just like visualizing it.
That one was a little more out there, but he's also just got like such an absurd personality that his personality makes sense for wrestling.
Yeah, I could totally see that. When you mentioned Tom Green, I'm like, I'm surprised he hasn't done something like that already.
Right.
But again, yeah, props for trying to get him in, you know?
Yeah, I've said this on other podcasts and on this one as well, that I come from the music industry, and then I also come from like the live entertainment world. So like we've booked comedy shows and we have contacts like everywhere. And yeah, the Steve-O thing I thought was gonna happen. Like I was so sure. We offered to pay everything up front, and like I offered to book him a show, like a stand-up show in Seattle and Spokane and Walla Walla and Portland. I was like, you can come to the Northwest for the week and like make a killing. And it just didn't work out.
Oh man, that's a bummer. Well, we're rounding past an hour, man. So, anything else the chat wants to ask before we take off? And William, what else can we expect from Prestige Roseland 2?
Yeah, I think it's, like I said, it's going to be the biggest night in our company's history. It's going to be the biggest night in modern Pacific Northwest independent wrestling history. We haven't had a show this big in the Pacific Northwest that I know of ever. I think as far as independent wrestling shows go. On top of that, it's live streaming. Nobody has live streamed really to the scale that we have since we did the last Roseland, and this is just going to be a whole nother level. I expect there to be a lot of people watching it, a lot of eyes on it. You know, the production team we have lined up is great. The people we have involved on it are great. As far as the wrestlers, the commentary team is incredible. I expect it to be one of the best shows of the year, and then I expect Roseland 3 to top that. So,
my goodness.
And it's just because, yeah, and it's strictly, and I see he's saying thanks for all your hard work and all your time. Yeah, it's because like I obsess over this, man. Like I will lay in bed and like I have like a bunch of sleep disorders and stuff, so I wake up a lot in the night anyways. But like I'll get an email at like 3 a.m. from a wrestler I've been wanting to hear from, and I'll be like, "Yep, got to reply to this right now because I have to get this handled." And yeah, it's just, and it's because like I've always said this from the beginning. I'm not only passionate about it, like personally and emotionally invested, but like it's not about making money. It's about just being the biggest, and I want to be the biggest, and that's all there is to it. I want to be the best and the biggest that we can be, because I'm not content with just, you know, running a local show. And I don't think, and if you want to do that, that's fine, but I think everybody should have higher goals and aspirations than that. And on February 20th, you know, that's where it all begins. We start the takeover, I hope.
Oh yeah, man. Well, let's show off your merch one more time before we get up out of here. Guys, this will all be available at Roseland as well as on their website at prestigewrestling.net.
Yeah, and if you go into the merch store and you enter the code, I think it's Forever20, you'll get 20% off. So that'll actually be cheaper, depending on how much you buy, than buying it at the venue, because at the venue I will hike those prices up because we gotta pay for some hotels. So.
Yeah, all that big name talent, man. You definitely gotta check the budget.
If you want to know the most stressful part, booking the hotels. That's
I can only imagine.
So we are also gonna have stuff at the venue no, you cannot have a discount, but this is going to be there at the venue. We got a few different items that we're bringing with us. You guys can also check out that merch as well on brainbustertees.com. Yeah, come say hi to us at the venue, man. It's going to be great. And guys, don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at the Pro Wrestling Shoot, and on Twitter at TPWS Podcast, and subscribe to this channel, man. We're going to be doing lives. Actually, we got another live stream coming up later on tonight. It's I don't know why I decided to do 2 live streams, but as soon as I was able to get Bryan and William on together, I was like, fuck it, man. We're doing 2 tonight, because this is the show that I really wanted to have. Later on, we're just going to be live streaming about AEW Dynamite, just like a preview of tomorrow's Dynamite. So you guys want to come in and chat, feel free. Other than that, man, I mean, it was great having you guys on. I hope you guys had fun talking about Prestige. I can't wait to see you, Bryan.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Noah says, looking forward to attending Roseland 2 and 3, and both for the 5th year anniversary shows. Wow.
He's coming to all of them, making it happen.
Damn.
Yeah, and I'm definitely going to be checking out the show in Pomona. So I'll be going on the 20th and the 27th.
Oh, yeah.
And I got to say, between, the Prestige merch, Jesse, the Pro Wrestling Shoot merch, y'all gonna bleed a brother dry. I'm coming back to LA with empty pockets, but I don't care, because I don't get out much. So I'm doing it big. I'm doing it big.
Start working on some video games, man. You start pumping.
Yeah.
There you go. James says, any plans on for like specialty matches for future Prestige events, like cage matches, Hell in a Cell, etc.? I don't know about anybody on the indies doing Hell in a Cell, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I definitely, I want to do them. It's just, it comes back to I want it to be the best it can be. So if it's not like, the highest quality it possibly can be, I'm not going to do it, because there's, that's one of the biggest problems with independent wrestling, is some people try things they shouldn't try, and you see through it so easily. So, but yes, I want to do some crazy specialty matches at some point. Just got to wait until that moment arises.
Yeah, man, the specialty match was going to be Steve-O. Hello, guys. We're not listening to this stream. That would have been phenomenal. Anyway, guys, well, hold on. Let's see here. Everything
that is true, William. Yeah, quality control is key. You know what I mean? If you can't do something and do it to the best of its ability, then it's okay. You don't have to do it.
This one is for you, Bryan. Everything Pro Wrestling says. Bryan, we got to talk Sifu.
Yeah, it's a new video game that came out. Yeah, Conrad, I picked it up last night. I'm playing it and I love it. It's a martial arts beat 'em up. It's pretty fucking amazing.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
It's really good.
All right, guys. Well, enjoy Prestige Wrestling. We are 12 days away?
12 days, yep.
12 days, man. Man, that creeped up on us quick. That was quick. It was just I felt like it was yesterday that I was tweeting out 3 months. 3 months, man. We got 3 months.
I'm not ready.
You'll be ready, man. Bryan, when you meet William at a Prestige show, don't think he's being rude. He is spinning around the building.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even think about bothering you at an event like that.
I told my fiance, this is such a big show that I might not even come out from behind the curtain. Like, there's too much to pay attention to and too much to work on, and just too many people. Like, that's a lot of freaking people. I might do this. I'm not sure. Before the show opens, I want everyone to be quiet, and I want to see if everyone clapping like this makes noise. If there's 900 people doing this, I've always wondered. So I might test that theory. But
are we gonna get a video of everybody doing the Prestige chant?
That's how all the shows open now too. So yeah, it'll the show will open with that on IWTV. So
with your biggest crowd yet. That's gonna be phenomenal.
He's been to PWG events. Yeah, they're going to be right on top of the ring for this one. Like, it's going to be like a PWG show. You're literally touching the apron if you're in the first row.
Yeah, nice.
There won't be enough room if there's not.
One last question. William, will you be involved in a match by chance?
No. I took one bump one time just trying to fall flat on my back, and I already have nerve damage as it is. and it hurt so bad. And I was, no, I will never, ever, ever be involved in a wrestling match in Prestige or in wrestling in general.
All right, William, where can everybody follow you guys at? All the socials, man. Let it drop.
Almost all of them are at Wrestle Prestige. I'm pretty sure Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter are at Wrestle Prestige. And then PrestigeWrestling.net is a good starting point as well. Go there and you can sign up for our mailing list, get our merch, our YouTube videos are all on there. And then also IndependentWrestling.tv has all of our old shows and all of our new shows. I think everything scheduled as of now is going to live stream. If not all of it, it'll be like 80% of it. So we'll be live streaming a lot this coming year.
All right, Bryan, where can they find you at, man?
I'm on Twitter, but I mean, honestly, you don't need to follow me. Just follow Prestige and what they're doing. I'm on Twitter at True.
It's at True B Will.
Yeah.
And his Twitter's phenomenal. Don't let him short talk you. All right, guys. I'm Jesse Carter. Thank you for watching the Pro Wrestling Shoot. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Join us later on, man. We're going to be streaming here in a couple more hours for Dynamite. Guys, go live stream this event. If you are not going to the show, you're not going to want to miss this. Check it out. Peace.